Gotta be super close to it. Sweet.
This one. Yeah, but you gotta be up close to it to really talk to it.
Sorry about that. All right. Let's start the meeting.
I just come up to date. I missed last week, last month. I did watch it though, but I had a couple of questions. There was talk about a generator. Are we putting a generator in?
Yes, we are.
Are we putting it in big enough for the possible expansion, or?
That wasn't discussed. I believe that,
Thank you so much. No. It's about transparency.
Doug Proctor, the architect with the Turner Group. That question comes into play with a lot of things like the generator, like the septic system, like a well. You know, are we going to make them big enough for just the police department or some kind of future expansion? So I think that's something that we all have to kind of work our way through as you decide what you're going to do. So.
And also is, I don't know if you figured out an allowance. Is it a $5,000 generator or $100,000?
Right now, we're holding a $75,000 allowance for a generator. So.
And the other question is, are we putting a kitchen in or not?
There's a break room, which has a small kitchen in it. And the way it's configured is that will, if there is an addition on the building, that can enlarge. So the break room gets bigger and can service a large meeting room like this if it needs to.
And something else that I have forgotten about, and I just thought about it. Most people probably don't even realize it, but the police department right now is the secondary EOC for town. And we've never done much with it, but we had to do that because when we did the EOC at the fire department, there was some problems that we had to have a secondary.
Can you just, for the public and for me, can you say what an EOC is?
Emergency Operations Center.
Thank you.
So I'm not sure how much we really did in this station. We dealt with Wayne on it, but it should have the capability of the radios, so that it could take over the radio situation. Should have a ham radio. How much you really use ham? I mean, we have one in the station, but that kind of stuff. It should have an area where you can have a hall where you can have it. And like I said, I don't know how much we really did in the PD downstairs. We never used it. But by code, we're supposed to have a secondary EOC.
that's a good point.
And I apologize for not thinking about it earlier.
But wouldn't the ham radio and that kind of stuff, that wouldn't be part of the building, right? That could
No,
be part of
no,
the,
it's just-
you just have to have the meeting room or
You
whatever,
have to have a
which
place
you'll have
where
anyway.
you can bring in a dozen people or whatever.
Yeah.
If something happened to the fire department. Is what it's for.
What's the largest room, Doug, that you have for a meeting room at the police station?
It's about 20 by 40. So
So it's how many people?
Plenty.
yeah.
20?
More than 20 by 40.
It's the size of this room.
Okay. So
And
then-
in the firehouse, it's the size of the conference room, which is half the size of this, plus the radio room.
So that's big enough.
Yeah.
Put 4 or 5 in the radio room and probably a dozen in the conference room. So, but that's just something to think about.
So the fire station's still
Is the
EOC number
EOC.
one.
It's the EOC.
All right.
You might want to just contact the fire on that and see what they have to say about it now, too.
I don't remember, Doug, just because the one that I have doesn't have. There's a little orange room that I think at one point said radio in there.
There's a radio room in there
Yeah.
adjacent to the mechanical room and the electrical room, right?
So I
So
don't know if
that's radio equipment, correct?
Yeah.
The training room, I think, is what I was describing as the largest room.
Oh, okay.
But that's, there's a conference room as well. So.
Okay, what else do we have?
You have minutes.
We need to approve the minutes from the last meeting. Is that correct?
Why can we? Yeah, I mean, that's something, yep.
Okay,
If we haven't done it yet, then yes.
so do I have a motion? Has everyone looked at the minutes? Any comments? Or
I wasn't here, so I'd abstain.
I didn't see it. Like I said, I watched it, but I didn't see the minutes.
I read the minutes, and I'll make that motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
I'll abstain also.
Okay,
Is anybody taking minutes for this meeting?
Not,
I didn't see a vote from this side of the table. Is that an affirmative, a
I
negative?
abstained, I wasn't there.
yeah, and he wasn't here either, so.
Yep.
do we have enough? Is that enough to
That
approve
just
it?
needs to be stated clearly, that's
Okay.
all.
Okay. All right, motion passes. Next. Sorry, I'm a little ill-prepared for this meeting
No, I'm just
because,
pulling up the agenda. The only other things on the agenda are any design updates that are noteworthy enough to mention, Doug, or just tweaks and changes?
I
since
sent
the
out
last meeting?
revised information to Eric last night. We have, and I apologize, I only printed enough for me because I thought we'd have them up on the screen. I do have a flash drive if we want to put something up on the screen.
Yeah, hold on.
Have that email.
Last night.
Probably 7 o'clock around there.
Okay. Should I open the images or should I also open the documents?
Oh, why don't we just start with the images?
Okay.
Did that go out to all board members?
No.
mm-mm.
Could, yes. Could we send that forward that to all board members? Would that be a problem?
I will leave that up to the chair. There are documents that have numbers in them, which I'm a little nervous about since that last time when a number got put out prematurely.
As,
But if Doug feels like it's okay, then you can.
as a member of this board, I think that all information should be available to all members of this board and not just a select few.
No, yeah, that's fine. Do you remember when there was a previous iteration of this group and
Yeah,
there was a number just like
I'm
thrown out
only-
there?
I do I do understand what you are referencing.
Yep.
But I do feel as a member of this board, that all information should be shared universally with all members of the board.
It's fine. You should let the chair know that you'd like that.
Or you
I
can make a
don't-
motion, right? You can make a motion for that today. Jim is running the meeting, so.
I don't find my request unreasonable. I don't find it to be an unreasonable request. But if we're going to talk about things at a meeting, that information should be
I
disseminated.
just want to be clear, this was emailed at 6:44 last night. I have not looked at it until just now. I haven't looked at it until just now, so. Er-
Your microphone, sir. Thank you.
Sorry, Eric.
Nobody's trying to hide anything.
No.
I'm just saying,
Yeah,
I literally don't know.
That
what
was
it
not
is.
what I was,
So we'll bring it up to Eric and we'll absolutely address it and,
Uh,
and make sure that going forward that the board as a whole is aware of what's being shared.
thank you very much.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. All right,
So these documents have numbers on them, and
Yeah,
I leave it up to
sorry,
the
I'm just-
board if they want to share numbers or not. Now, I don't know what your
Yep.
game plan is.
Right now, I'm just trying to get this up so that,
So who did you send this to, Doug? Letty and
Letty and Eric.
Letty and Eric?
to be fair, I don't know that Eric had enough time to share it, but, you know, I don't want to speak for him, so.
I mean, he seemed to share all of the other
Yeah.
things that he got from Doug, so I don't think this was a intentional omission on his part.
Are the numbers just the square footage? Is that what we're talking about?
No, there's a cost
Or
number
there's
on this.
cost number.
So,
So we do need to keep in mind that these are general estimates. They're not anything written in stone yet, so we just need to keep that into consideration as well. That's all.
right. So the plan's the same that we saw last time. After the last meeting, we talked about generators and septic systems, and I wanted BPS to take a harder look at the development costs for the whole building. So I think we've gone from 4.8 to 5.6 million, I think it was the previous number.
That does say 5.6.
It was 4.7 to start, so now it's 5.6?
Yes. So that's for the PD. And then they only had a chance to look at the PD, so then I just extrapolated for an expansion of a town hall or whatever, which was the next slide.
Yeah.
And I think that one's at 10.2 or something like that.
Opening.
So Letty, explain to me if it was 5.6, how that works with the tax cap.
I don't, what? So this would need to be approved as a warrant article for a bond, which would be outside the tax cap.
I thought the first year or whatever is in the tax cap, isn't it?
Nope, because it's a bond, this payment by itself would blow the tax cap.
Would be outside or included in the tax cap, and then it wouldn't be under the tax cap because it's too high, correct?
So if there is a bond at town meeting,
Mhm.
it is warrant Article 1. It is approved by if it is approved by the legislative body, it's approved by a 3/5 ballot vote. And part of the wording in that warrant would say that this exceeds the tax cap for this year.
So, so we would be agreeing to exceed the tax cap.
In order to make this payment.
Just, okay.
I actually don't technically know because
No, I know.
I'm not-
just trying to.
I'm not actually in charge of figuring that out, that
So-
wording, but
Is the bond at town meeting or is the bond in the,
it's at town meeting.
it's at town meeting?
So Doug, you're saying that the increase of almost $1 million is due, in fact, to,
It's making sure that we're covered for development costs. We don't want to go in here and be the low bidder on the project, so it's making sure that the budget is there to accomplish the project as we need to. So
okay.
there are a lot of contingencies in there. There's a construction contingency, and then the number I'm giving you is a project budget. It's not construction budget, and I can go through those numbers more in the following documents if you want to do it in this environment.
Is this a not to exceed number?
It's not a bid, it's a budget.
If we were to move forward with the project, could we get?
The idea is that this covers all your costs.
Okay.
Soft and hard costs.
Right. 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 Right.
Chief, being new here in this, but not new to building, if I remember right, you were involved in the safety complex in Lee.
Yes, I was. Yep.
And so have you had a chance to look this over at all?
No, not till right now.
Okay.
It's the first time I've seen it.
He doesn't have all the detail of what the spaces are either. He doesn't have that drawing probably.
Okay.
So,
We need to make sure we get that to him so that he can look it over and give us his ideas. Do you see anything, because you've been privy to all this, do you see anything that you want to change? I mean, we're getting to the point where we want to make sure that we're moving forward and we don't have any, last minute changes or anything,
I can walk through the plan real quick, even though the names aren't there. If you like right now, I can just walk through like
I think
did
that'd be
the
nice,
last
yeah,
meeting.
yeah.
So the orange up at the top, that's your main entry, and there's a secure vestibule as the first space. The reception space is the orange off to the left side, and then there's a secondary vestibule below that primary one, and then there's an interview room is the orange on the other side, and then the last orange one would be a visitor restroom. Reception is the pink off to the left from the orange, and then there's a secure records just below that. And then lieutenant office is just to the left of there, and chief office is to the left of that one. The blue is, sorry, the pink just below the interview room on the right-hand side, yep, there, is a detective office, and then we have sergeant's offices there. And then patrols, that large one, that's the patrol office. There's patrol storage in an adjacent room to the sergeant's office, and then uniform and armory are off the hallway there. The purple would be locker rooms with 2 unisex shower rooms, which would be full restrooms with a shower. And then the beige off all the way to the left that's a training room. And the goal with that is that it can double in size and become a future meeting room like this. So it's kind of a shared space between a potential town hall and the PD. And then break room is just above there in the beige at 220. The brown is your booking space, and there's, what's that room? No, that one that you got your hand on.
Secure
No, the secure bathroom is the space across on the other side. I'm blanking. Anyway, that and then the green is evidence, and then we got evidence processing off the booking area, and then we got drug evidence and
these little-
weapons evidence are the smaller areas. And the Sally port there's a divider screen in the Sally port, so if you have an evidence vehicle, you can bring it in there, secure it, and then you can pull the screen back and do your inspection if you need room, but then you can secure it from the rest of the staff or whatever you need to. And then cold storage there in that space. That is a fitness room in the corner there. The orange is, as I said before, mechanical, radio, and electric. And then the patrol storage up above there. So that kind of, patrol room up above there. That kind of covers all the areas. I'm trying to remember what that one booking room is.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
No.
can you make a list, or maybe a list, just to,
So in the so in the past, the chief had not wanted that much detail, just for security purposes. I'll leave it up to you, chief, if that is something you want the floor plan of your building out in the public.
Yeah, I'm fine either way. I mean, it is a secure facility, so either way, whatever anybody wants.
I would prefer, actually, if you just did it the way you did today, but just have it a list, like blue is sergeant and blah, you know
So
what I
that,
mean?
so on the right side.
On the right-hand
is-
side
yep.
sort of does that,
Yep.
yeah, I guess that's
It's kind
okay,
of general.
yeah. Yeah, that's probably enough.
I'm sorry, the 2 gray above the purple, those are also restrooms. So those are individual restrooms. There's a visitor restroom, and then again, there's 2 in the locker room. So there's 5 total. They don't have to be, but they are. They're identical.
They're
right
all
now.
single stall.
Yeah. Right.
One question that came up on the floor plan last meeting was the fitness room, whether or not they felt like that was an essential part of the program. I said that I thought it was, because we have PT tests and it's nice to have a place to work out before or after in a shift. But I don't know, something to. It's-
It was something that we put in Lee, and I do think that it's important for the guys to be in shape. And with their 3-year fitness tests, you know, every year, it's nice to provide them with a facility to have that option.
No, but there could be. There are IT closets and storage rooms. Sorry, the gray to the left of the purple is also another storage area. So,
When you were involved in the building in Lee, was there anything that you wish that you had done differently that you know you can incorporate into this building?
No, not really. I mean, the builder that we had built multiple facilities, and we went and looked at many police departments before we made our final decision, and I'm sure that you guys have done so with you as well here, so.
Did anybody here look at Lee? So you were happy with Lee? You were happy with the building that,
I was, but it was a safety complex.
oh, it was both?
Police and fire.
Yep.
And we built the downstairs first and then a future build of the upstairs afterwards, so.
And that, so how big was it? How big was it when the whole thing? You don't know?
I
Okay.
couldn't tell you offhand.
Was there a fair amount of overlap in terms of conference rooms and say the workout room? Were those kind of like shared between the fire and the police?
Yes, police and fire do share the upstairs weight room. Also, that's where the Board of Selectmen meet now, is upstairs in that facility. Downstairs is a shared kitchen and a very large room with a retractable wall to have multiple meetings.
We didn't visit there, did we? Did anybody visit there?
Lee, no.
No, but that's similar to the one that we saw in Northampton, where there was that large room that could split into 2 smaller ones.
Yeah. That was something that Chief Byrd did mention, that they wish they had more room. They wish they had more storage.
From the original look of these plans, it does look like there's plenty of storage from the green and also off the Sallyport. You know, you would hope to purge some things and not keep things around for a long period of time, except for the mandated stuff that you need to. But you can also do a small outside building later for any type of cold storage if needed.
yeah, I mean, I called the storage off the Sallyport or cold storage, but really it's not. It's conditioned storage, so. So, I don't know if you want to open the other drawing. I did do some elevations since the last meeting. And the goal there was to develop something that BPS could get a firmer handle on what the building looks like and everything, so.
That was in a different email, right? No.
No, it should be.
It's the same one.
Oh, maybe you go to the site plans for that.
Okay.
By the way, you still have town hall on
Yeah.
that heading there. That
Yeah.
town hall has
Yeah,
to
I
go.
guess. I'll change that.
Or we're gonna direct everyone to you with their
Yeah,
ire.
you don't want that in there. Trust me, Doug, you don't.
I'm used to getting all the ire.
But what if we could avoid the ire by just not having that?
So, the east elevation, and again, we talked about is the building turned or not, but I just used our typical orientation we have on the site plan right now. So the east elevation is the entrance, and there you have waiting and reception that look out to the front of the building, and the off to the right on that elevation is also the
So just so people at home can, the simple thing is where the east elevation, that's facing 125.
correct.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and off to the left on that elevation is the chief's office and the lieutenant's office. The elevation to just to the right of that is the backside, we'll say. And you see the sally port doors there, exit door, and then exit doors out of the training room. So it's also, that door's also there in case you have groups come in from another town or something, you can just let them right in that door instead of bringing them through the police station. And then the windows are the fitness room, and we can talk about how many windows you want in different spaces. But these are just quick elevations to help them determine a budget. The left side elevation on the bottom is the south elevations, and there we have the patrol office and the sergeant's office and the detective office, and again, the fitness room in the corner. And then the north elevation is the long gable, so that would, if you put an addition on the building, that's the part that gets extended. So that's one large span there, so that wall is not bearing or anything. And you can take that wall down, but there's an exit door, another corner window for the chief's office, and then a window grouping for the break room and then for the training room.
Well, Chief said he didn't want any windows in his. Nice and dark, right?
Yeah, well, we can turn the building, we can just design it backwards and come off of here. It's not ideal. I don't think you should be trying to enter the police station through the park, but that's.
And we did look into it. I don't think we'll have a problem with it, but just in case, yeah, it's good to have a contingency plan, but I don't know.
I can do some asking at my office about it. The other thought in the last meeting was that if it came down to it, it could be built in this way, so.
They're gonna wanna know
Where,
traffic is, some sort of traffic calculation that goes hand in hand.
Yeah,
with
they'll
your
want a
deal.
traffic study.
Yeah.
where does the
DOT
money for the new, if you're gonna make it face 125, where does the money for the road come from? Roads?
What road?
You're talking about putting the road,
Just a,
oh,
I
just
think it's
the,
just an emergency, like it's not for everybody.
Correct. It's only for police.
so you still enter from the
Well,
parking
we'd
lot that
we'd
we
to
have there
talk
now?
about that because I have visitors coming in that way to the police station.
So is it just a driveway coming off of 125 to go there?
We don't know. We would have to get permission from the state.
As it sits, we would like to add an additional driveway to the property
Right,
at the rec center.
right.
State standards say you cannot have more than 2 driveways unless you have 500 feet of frontage. We
Okay.
have the frontage.
Yes, 600 and some, right?
I don't know the exact figure, but I know it's more than 500.
Mhm.
What also goes hand in hand with that is traffic study. How much traffic is this curb cut going to bear? And also sight distance. So I don't see those things being a challenge there, except for the rise and fall of that hill. That's the only distance that needs to really be calculated.
And the
And that-
good thing is it's up on top, at the top of the crest of the hill, so.
Right.
Yeah.
And just for saving money or whatever, we can't come in the other way. Why?
We want to have a direct access for our police to 125. If you've ever been to the Brentwood Rec, say on a Saturday morning with soccer,
There's tons of,
there's a lot more traffic than you think. And anybody who wants to bear witness to that, please go and see it. And the wonders of why you want that second access go right away.
The simple fact that there's a lot of kids that are running around.
no, I get
too,
it, I
you
get
know.
it.
Yeah,
Okay.
we want our police officers to have direct access to 125 to serve the people of Brentwood within a certain time frame.
So what makes it allowed to have another driveway there? When my husband was
The
on
state.
the select board.
That's a state requirement.
Right.
That's 23613, I believe.
Is the state requirement to have another driveway? So they have to let us have a driveway, even though they tell a lot of people you can't have another driveway on 125.
It's totally different, Liz. This is
Okay.
some-
You can apply to the
Yeah.
state,
Okay,
and those are state standards within 23613. I know it's 236, don't quote me on the 13, I think it's
Okay.
13.
nope.
It says specifically in there that you can only have one curb cut with 500 feet
No, I
of
know, I
road
wasn't
frontage.
talking about that. I was talking about the actual, because at one point you couldn't have any additional driveways on 125, so it's different for a municipal building.
Well, if you meet the standards, you meet the standards.
Yep.
That's what the state has standards. You meet the standards, you meet the
No, I get it.
criteria, you get your curb cut.
Okay, enough about the driveway. Let's carry on. What else do you have for us, Doug?
I was gonna show you the site plan, but it has a driveway on it.
No, I know, hold on. I just want to make
I
sure.
would call it an access.
Access.
Do you want me to print more of these? I'll print more. This one?
Oh, you're printing them to show them as PDFs? Okay.
No, no.
Or you just bring them up?
I have to physically drag them from this screen to that screen.
Oh,
and
okay.
it's-
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
So this shows, just to be clear,
A possibility for a driveway.
well, the possibility of a driveway, but it also shows a possibility of another
Oh, sorry.
future
Yeah, there's
building.
two different
Hold
site
on,
plans in
I'll
there.
grab the other one then,
Yeah.
sorry.
And that state RSA is 23613.
Okay, I got it. I trusted you. I wrote it down.
Here we go.
Sorry. It is exactly the same thing, just with one less spot for
Right,
a
so-
possible future.
So here we're showing, in addition to the plans we saw last time, we have a generator pad shown and then a possible leach field behind, at the bottom of the parking there for the building. And like I said, in the earlier conversation, you know, it's like, how do we determine what leach field size, what septic size, you know, the generator size? It's all dependent on, do you want to accommodate the future, and the future what? And then, or are we just worrying about the police station right now? So. Right, but again, there's been different sized buildings thrown out as part of the addition, so you have to figure that stuff out ahead of time. And then the other plan that she showed a second ago.
Oh,
I went there just before I came over here, and all the parking around the building right now is filled, so there's classes going on.
Yeah, parking's always an issue. You can never have enough parking. And this shows
This shows for a placeholder, which, you know, stood for a town hall moving over there.
yep.
And then parking as we might need it, and then the leach field and the generator are the same spot. So the main access to the town hall would be from the direction of the parking into the building. And then we've looped the road around the existing picnic shelter.
So you'd enter the police station from one side and the town offices from the other, if you're doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Which is what you want. You don't want them to be together.
And how many parking spaces do you have with that?
In where? In which one?
Either side of the police station?
There's approximately 22 or something like that. Yeah. The line spaces that we have there. think we got 8 plus 5 and then another 8 up top or something.
Do you have any questions? Anyone?
No.
Any other updates, Doug, that we want to?
No, I
Yes.
mean, I do have supplementary cost information that I did send to Eric, and you might want to review that as a committee outside of this. And it kind of, it's a reinforcement of the numbers that I gave you earlier.
Okay.
Oh, it's just like it's the breakdown of where those numbers come from.
Yeah, so there's a BPS document in there, which is the construction costs, and then I took that number and turned it into a project cost, which means it has additional soft costs and contingencies in there. And then from the PD number that they did, I extrapolated what a PD town hall built at the same time would be. And that's the other project cost document that's in there.
I don't know what any of that.
Well, we'll deal with that.
I don't know what any. I mean, I understand all of those words individually, but I don't know what these documents mean.
And the other thing that we need to discuss today is the December public information session and what we want to do about that. We had discussed, what was the, we were going to kind of piggyback on that with another meeting that was already being held, correct? Not a standalone. What was?
I
in-
had to leave before you got to that part in the conversation.
I don't remember it.
Hold on, let me.
I don't-
see. They're pretty final.
They are pretty final. I mean,
The only thing we,
Yeah, isn't that what?
I think within the documentation that we do not yet have, it gives a cost breakdown and further explains the 2 options or 3 options.
yeah, we'll be prepared next month to
Isn't one of these have costs?
to have this. I think that it's important that we determine,
Yeah, there's a cost right there.
yeah, correct, I saw that.
Yes, but we just talked about some documentation that you have that further breaks down the cost estimate.
Sure. I'm not sure that the average member of the public, I agree that that should be available, but I'm not sure the average member of the public is going to get that deep into it for the info session.
Yeah, this is just going to be,
This is information for this board to digest.
Okay. I think what Jim was saying is that we have everything that we need to
To-
start creating info sessions.
correct.
True. Yes.
Correct. We want to be transparent. We want the public to be involved, and we want to let them know what what's going on, what we're doing.
But-
Of course, it's too early to have a final, but at least we can let them know what we're talking about and keep them up to date on what's going on. We still have a few things to figure out, but for the most part, I think we're ready for our first. Liz?
Yeah, it was a shock for me to hear today that it went from 4.7 to 5.6. So I'm just, it's hard for me to.
Why?
Well, first of all, I don't know if you talked about money last time. I wasn't.
We did.
At the last meeting.
We did.
So maybe it wasn't a shock to too many other people,
So
but
the 4.7 was a very rough estimate.
yeah, I know,
The
4.7,
O-
4.9.
There was a back OPCC, I think.
Oh.
I
I don't know what that is. Oh,
don't remember either, something probable construction costs.
Well, whatever. But
Um,
I'm just saying that and we still have town hall on this one too. The,
That's
I don't know, I didn't know if there was, you've already been through, there's no wiggle room, this is what it's gonna be, right?
There
Have
is
you-
absolutely wiggle room.
Yeah,
Okay, so.
These are
I
not-
agree, this is too preliminary to,
We are not going to be able to get a hard and fast number until we
No,
put
I-
out bids.
and the other thing to keep in mind, Liz, is we want to be transparent about this process. It is a process, and we don't have, we're not at that point yet to write down in pen what this project is going to cost us. Complete, right? Am I
The
wrong?
way this process typically works is because you're doing a study and you're doing conceptual design.
Correct.
Conceptual. And what you're trying to do is identify the programmatic requirements of the spaces, the building, which we've done, and then identify the construction costs associated with that, and then any other ancillary costs through a project budget, through soft costs or through site development. And you're trying to develop a concept budget that a construction manager can work with to build a building. That means that's not the final cost, it's a budget to make sure that you don't go over.
Yep.
And then the construction manager goes out and through his process, he gets 3 bids from each trade, which are 16 trades to build a building. He gets those bids, and then whoever is assigned to the immediate building committee determines with the construction manager who they're gonna accept the bids from, and compiling those 16 trade costs, that's your final number. Again, with additional contingencies and everything. The CM's gonna carry a construction contingency, and the owner is gonna carry contingency in the soft costs on their side, so.
In other words, just because it says 5.6 million doesn't mean we're going to spend 5.6 million.
Right, you could be at 5.4, you could be at 5.2, something like that.
Right. Hopefully under 5, but yeah. So, all right. And I apologize because I don't have the exact meeting that we were going to be.
I wasn't here.
Was it in the minutes from last meeting?
No.
Okay.
Well, I don't think so. I didn't see it, but I don't know exactly what.
But we had
Was it
talked
one of
about.
our meetings or a different?
No,
meeting?
no, it was something that the public was going to be attending, and I apologize, I don't have it. Okay, well, maybe we just do a standalone. Is there a time in December that we can hold it?
We can hold it.
I don't think it-
we can hold it whenever we want to.
Well, I understand
Are we
that.
holding it here?
I guess that's what we want to talk about, right?
I guess that would be a question for you, Doug. Is there any more refining realistically that is going to be able to be done to finalize those numbers anymore?
The only thing I can do is make sure that we try to finalize the expansion number.
Okay.
And what happens on this building,
Okay.
so.
And it sounds like the focus for most people is the police station, and so that number is as close to final as it will be until bids start happening, until we actually move forward with
I
a
can go back to
project.
BPS and ask them and walk through it with them and confirm again, but I think that's probably the number we're looking at. To me, it feels like the right number because of the size of the building and the economy that we're seeing, so.
Well, the only other thing that I would, excuse me, I'm frog in my throat. The only other thing is I want to make sure that we're fair to Chief Murch too, that he has ample time to review this and make sure that there aren't any changes that he wants to make to the building.
Fair comment.
So should we postpone the December until January?
I guess that would be a question for you, Doug. I know we've talked a lot about being able to flip the building left and right. If there are changes to the interior layout that do not result in change in footprint, how much of that needs to be decided in advance versus we could do that later or on as we're going?
I think as long as we're staying within the envelope that we have, we can manipulate.
That we simplify it as much as possible for the public so that there aren't a bunch of, we don't create more questions by putting this out there where we're actually we're answering questions rather than creating more. And I think that was part of the reason that we wanted to have so many, meetings with the public to make sure that they understood. I mean, it's a big project and it's something that's needed. We just, again, the transparency of it all is really what it is. And I understand your point, Kevin, about they can watch these, but there's nothing like face-to-face meeting and having drawings and whatnot. I do think it's important. So I don't know, Chief, do you have any input on when you feel comfortable if we did one in December, or would you like to postpone it a month?
No, I think in the original look of this building, I don't see any issues or any problems. Was there talk about what the longevity of this building is going to be?
We're shooting for about 40 years. So.
40?
And we've allowed so that you could extend the building if there's any need for additional space due to manpower or something like that, that you could grow it to the bottom of the plan.
Yeah, there is ample room for expansion
Right.
in any, really, whether it be police or whether we add another building to it for another purpose down the road. We have all those options available to us.
Right now, on the site plan, I do have the building tucked to the south, so it's close to the property line. If for some reason during all these discussions it's determined that there would never be an expansion of a town hall or anything at this location, we can push the building more to the north to allow for more police expansion to the south.
My first thought is December is always very busy for everybody. I'm wondering if it doesn't make more sense for us to hold it in January, after the holidays. I mean, there's a lot going on in December. I think personally, I suggest we move it to January, maybe even the first week of January. But sometime.
Usually what we see is, we'll do a presentation in the first 15 days of January or something. It depends on when your budget and your deliberative sessions are, so.
Yeah.
We don't have a deliberative session.
Okay.
Town meeting.
And I still think that's plenty of time, to inform the public, don't you?
I think the only reason that I would personally want to have at least one in December is just because even though all of these meetings are available to everyone, there are still going to be people that show up for the first time with questions that we can answer because we've answered them before. But if there's those questions that we haven't gotten yet and we don't have answers to, the sooner we find out what those are so we can answer them, the better.
I would like to see this committee meet in December and the first thing be in the first half of January, the first public one. Because Eric's not here again, you know, like, it's good, I think it's important to have Eric, you know, saying, being here and being available for the public, and that's just my personal opinion.
So
Because then
should-
we'd have a chance to look at these things that only Letty and Eric got sent, so.
I haven't looked at them yet.
No, I'm not
so-
saying, I'm not, this is not, I'm not saying you shouldn't have sent them or whatever, but that we would, the rest of us would be able to look at them, and I think we need one more meeting of this, it doesn't have to be a particularly long meeting, but one more meeting of this committee in December, and then,
Well, I guess the big question is, if we have another meeting, what is that meeting going to accomplish that we haven't accomplished today? Are we kind of spinning our wheels at this point before? I think so. I mean,
The only thing we'd get at the next meeting is, you wanted to go over the costs of the town office, the addition, correct?
Yeah, I want to verify.
And the renovation
You wanted to
of this
verify,
building.
verify those.
Yeah.
The decision whether to have a public information session either in December or January is a very tough decision. And the only thing that I'm extremely hesitant of is having it in December is the amount of attendance that you're really going to get. With the holidays, I think once you get past New Year's, I believe that would be a more appropriate time if you wanted the maximum amount of attendance.
I don't think it's gonna make that much of a difference. I hear what you're
It's
saying.
fair
I
comment.
think if people wanna come, they will come because it's one night.
Mhm.
We're not having it Christmas Eve or anything, so.
Yeah, and you're not, here's a warning. You're not gonna have all the answers that people are gonna ask. You're just simply not gonna have all those answers until you go out and get the bids.
well, and there's a lot of times that
Yeah.
it's very important that we listen to the public,
Oh,
and they
100%.
have, you know, they might bring up some very valid questions that we hadn't thought about. So we want to hear from the public.
Yep, 100%.
are
I
we
agree with
getting
that
questions
100%.
now? Is somebody fielding questions now?
Nobody's asking questions now.
Do we have-
Nothing says that you can't do 2 in 1 month. Why can't we meet again in December and in that same week? But I would say either the first week of December before people start going on vacation. We meet, go over these, whatever numbers we want to go over what you want to put together for the town hall, this town hall redo. And then in that same week on a Wednesday night or something, host something at the rec center. So we meet, we have everything fresh in our head, we can go over what the agenda is that we want to put down, and then that Wednesday, boom, we hold our first info, which really is gonna be a Q&A. It's gonna be a Q&A for us, because people are gonna ask us questions that we're not even thinking of, and then you can have a really good one in January. It keeps us going a month ahead. We can prepare for January instead of getting a bunch of Q&As in January, slamming it out in February, and now we have less than a month before March to get everything done before town meeting.
Fair, yeah.
What if we meet the afternoon of the second, we meet as a group on the second, and then before the select board meeting, have a quick Q&A?
There's something else that night, but I can't remember what it is. I think there's something.
On what night, the second or the
Yeah,
third?
Second.
The second, but I can't remember, what it is, so don't worry about it.
Like literally just like the hour before the select board meeting. Here is a police building.
So I don't think that's fair to people, though, only because I would think that you want to have it after people get home from work.
Yeah.
That
No,
was
I-
one of the,
I meant to
Oh,
do it
that's
like,
true.
like how you guys did we did
Mm.
the tax cap thing. It's gonna be a big meeting, probably bigger to not hold it in here on the off chance that a bunch of people show up, but I mean, pretty huge turnout for the tax cap. The PD building's been an item of contention. I'm sure we're gonna get a lot of people showing up. We do it in the first week of December. No one's usually on vacation at that point. They're finishing up their work week. You hold it at 6 PM or 7 PM like we've done all the other big meetings, I think you'll get a good turnout. And we can meet the day before just to
I
hash
think,
out.
I think
finalize stuff.
my only hesitation about meeting at the rec center is that we have no ability to record.
Yeah,
It's not that we don't have ability, we can, it's just not set up for that.
yeah, but we don't need it to be recorded. It's a public meeting that people can come to, and
I know, but if there are people who can't come, that's the whole reason why we record these and stream them, is so that people can
yep.
like get the information another way.
It's been set
I'm
up for
just
other
not-
meetings. What's the,
I'm not picturing in my mind's eye how this is gonna go. Are you holding an open house where people just come in and talk to different people around the room? Are we having a presentation? I'm just trying to
I
get
would-
the,
I would have, myself, I would have a presentation, and then I would open it up to public comment and question.
By who? Would Doug do the presentation? Would you do would Eric do the presentation?
I think this room for a presentation would probably be a much better atmosphere than the BRC. Because we have these screens. We
Right.
can put the information up on the screen.
Is it maybe?
what happens when, I mean, over 100 and something people showed up for the tax?
Yeah, but that was also the public
That's-
hearing. That wasn't just the tax cap. That was the public hearing, which is the whole bunch,
This room can hold 99
different-
people, apparently.
different thing.
That's what it's fire rated for, is
I mean,
100
if we
people.
rotate this table so it's going this way, and
So can we, let's determine before where we're holding the meeting, when we're holding the meeting.
Fair.
Do we meet as a group on the 2nd, which is a Tuesday, and then hold the public yeah. It is soon.
it's in 2 weeks. Yep. But
Next.
other than changing the words on this so it doesn't say town hall anymore, right? Because
Next week.
And coming up with the
Week after.
or
numbers.
we can so
Oh, yeah.
I feel like the focus always has been and should be towards police.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's these other questions that have come up since regarding that of if we make a shared building, what will the cost savings be? If we renovate this building, what will those costs be? If we don't have the second run-through number, I don't know what you'd call them, Doug, the second run-through numbers of the combined facility and the renovation of this building at the first meeting, I'm not as bothered by that because we have the one for police, which again,
But he'll have those numbers for us.
you might.
Not in 2 weeks.
I'd rather have more meetings with some things with asterisks that get more and more certain as we go than fewer meetings with everything being really definite. Because people aren't going to show up to most of them.
Let me ask you this. If we put it off to the 9th, which is the second week, we meet on Tuesday, and then we have the public meeting on Wednesday, the 10th, or Thursday, the 11th.
There are meetings in this room that night, both of those nights.
Okay.
There, if this is gonna go forward as a warrant article, correct?
I believe so.
But I want you to be aware of, they will be holding public hearings about that warrant article as well.
We are required to, the select board will be required to, yes.
Right. Okay.
I don't know what the timeline is on those, when they need to be held by.
Mhm.
That's a really good question. For someone who's not me.
I think we've kicked around these dates to nauseam, and if
Yeah.
someone wants to make a motion, I'd make a motion to hold the first public hearing December 9th.
You don't mean public hearing, you mean public session.
Public session.
Presentation and a Q&A.
It's the planning board in me.
Where would you like to have that?
I would do it here.
Yeah,
You
do it.
cannot.
Select board.
Why, something on that night?
Yes.
Select board.
that's
Would-
Conservation.
No,
withdraw
select
my
board is
motion.
on the 9th at 6
Select
p.m.
board's on 9th.
I know.
Conservation.
Conservation is on the
10th.
10th. It's a Wednesday.
I thought I said the 9th. Is there
So I
Our meeting, or sorry, the Q&A session
Mm-hmm,
here,
mm-hmm.
the 9th is a Tuesday.
Oh, we can't do that. That's a select board meeting.
Yeah, so can we meet as a group for our meeting on the 9th at 1:30? And then have the public hearing, whether it's here or at Rec Center, on the 11th, Thursday, at like 6 p.m.
We could do it here.
It-
Yeah,
It
so
needs
that-
to be
'cause
later
it's
than
the
6.
second It's the second
I'm
Thursday.
It needs to be later than 6.
7?
7 or 6:30 at the earliest.
7?
You got a cemetery trustee meeting on Thursday at 5, so I'm sure some of those guys are gonna wanna go to this, so 7 should give them enough time.
What's on Thursday?
Cemetery.
Yeah,
Trustee.
we just have it for an hour.
Okay.
That work?
Works for me.
Do we have a-
Second.
Sorry, you said what time is on the 11th?
7 PM.
And the 9th at 1:30. Can you do both of those, Doug?
So, do we have a vote on that?
Yes, there was a motion and a second.
Motion and a second. Do we have,
I believe so. Sorry, what's the meeting on the 9th? That's this meeting?
That's this.
this meeting? Yeah,
1:30?
1:30. And then the 11th at 7 PM.
Yeah, I can do those.
Can you smile when you say that, please?
No, I was thinking, in my own head, I was thinking, do we just go with the second or the third because the 11th is pushing closer into the holidays? That's only what I was thinking.
I think it's not gonna,
But maybe it's not an issue.
I don't think it's, I think we are being really optimistic that we're gonna fill any sort of room.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
statement.
honestly, most of these things, we get like 10 people.
Yep.
So.
All right, so, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, anyone opposed? Abstained? Motion passes unanimously. All right. 7 PM, yep.
The other
And-
thing, one of the thing, Jim, that we can do is when we get the questions, we can print up something, because some people like the print and have that go like to the newsletter. You know, the questions that have already been asked. We can, I know you're gonna have them on the website.
Oh, it's
but-
already there. It's been there for years.
No, but I'm talking about now, what's happening now, with the
Okay.
questions that people ask. You know, we can say.
Nobody's asking any questions, I will tell
But
you.
who would they ask, is what I'm saying. If they're gonna ask, is there an ask place?
Yes, there is literally an email address that you can click on that sends an email and
Okay.
nobody's asking.
Okay, well, I'm just saying that they may be asking more now that it's becoming more concrete and
Great.
more of, so we could have it also for the non-computery people that was written, and we don't have to keep answering the same question over and over and
Absolutely.
over again, because we've already put it in a couple newsletters.
Happy to generate that.
So
whenever
we're
we
getting
have
real
the
close on
information.
time here. We're already running over. Is there any public comment? Sir? Yep.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to me.
Yeah, please state your name and your address.
I was about to do
Okay.
that. So Ched Miller, I've been in town since '85. Been a past member of the Budget Committee,
You want to
School
speak
board.
into the microphone, sir.
School Board,
Yep.
and was quite proud when we put this building together. Kind of a footnote is that I was leaving today and my wife said, "Where are you going?" I said, "To the meeting on the new municipal building." She said, "I thought we had one of those." So I'm not sure you're going to find too much differentiation from a lot of other people. So, you know, what I'd like to do today is offer some thoughts and then maybe a conclusion at the end. You know, I've heard a lot about transparency. Actually, I came to this meeting today at 1 o'clock because when I looked at the town calendar last week, it wasn't on the calendar. And fortunately, the town administrator said, "Jed, you're a little early. It's like at 1:30. So, you know, in the spirit of transparency, I would encourage the calendar to be filled out in advance so people can attend if they'd like to. The other part that I noted was that, you know, I tried to catch up because the first time I heard about this was several years ago. It was kind of like, you know, a very reasonable issue. And I figured with this committee and others, we come up with a very, very solvable solution. So I really didn't look around too much into it. And, but when I decided to start getting familiar, I went out to the website, and I started reading the minutes. I also listened to the videos. Videos are hard because you really can't hear what people are saying, and if they're looking at anything, you really can't see it. But one thing I did note is that out of the 10 meetings this year, only 5 meetings have notes, meeting notes. And it's hard to understand if you can't look at what's written. Somebody mentioned people like written things. I'm one of those people. So, I mean, if you want to really get to the transparency, I'd look at keeping your minutes up to date. It's most people in town work. I don't. But being here at 1:30 on a Tuesday is tough. It really is quite tough.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to be a big deal. I don't think it was going to be a big deal when it was like 2.3 million. I think it's going to be a gigantic deal at 20 million.
Well, no one's talking
I'll
20
get you
million.
there. I'll get you there. The other part, I looked at the project frequently asked questions, and what was of interest was why is the current building not usable? When I used to make presentations on projects or objectives, I always like to state why we needed to do it. This is kind of like the negative. But working with the list here, somebody said, well, you need to go down in the police station. I actually picked a day when it was Chet's very early on, and he was kind enough to walk me through. But I didn't note a water or a mold problem. The layout is like any layout where you have a lot of offices, but I didn't think it was unusable. One of the things that is listed here is the projected of head count into the future. And I read the impact fee analysis, but I also, and I wrote actually a letter to the Brentwood newsletter on our growth, because everybody's talking about growth. I pointed out in the newsletter that our population has not increased since 2014 for over a decade, and in fact, it's getting smaller. And that's also supported if you look at the head count at our elementary school. And the reason I note that is I was more active in the school system when my kids were in the school, like most parents. And we sat through a meeting once with a bunch of high-paid consultants, and they talked about how this place was going to grow and grow and grow, and we needed all this space. Well, it turned out to be very inaccurate, and I think the town is shrinking probably because us old folks aren't moving out, so young folks can't move in, plus the place is expensive as all hell.
Are you talking about population?
Yes.
Okay, because the number of households has like doubled or tripled.
The number of homes have, yes.
Yes.
But one of what
The
they
service
look at,
wise,
if I could just walk through it, you can talk after I'm done. I'd be happy to listen. The information really goes to what you were just talking about. And it really talked about where can I get information? And it says, the brentwoodnh.gov new building. And I looked at that, man. It was hard to find my way through it. I'll bet you I've probably spent a couple of weeks trying to figure out what's going on here. And you talk about, the monthly frequently asked questions. I don't think they've been updated monthly, but I could be wrong. It also talks about the monthly committee meeting, which again is, I think you've done remarkably well at, but I really wish the meeting minutes notes have been up. One place you might look into the future is the Brentwood newsletter. I think the Brentwood newsletter I know it goes to everybody, and I think a lot of people read it. So I think that's a good opportunity if you're looking for other opportunities. But the fear of growth, I think, is false. And it's proven by the facts that our population has not changed in 10 years. In 2014, our town report said there were 4,693 people here, and in the most recent report said there's 4,712. That's 10 years. It's over a decade. I don't really think it's growing. So in reading the notes, I found that, let me change glasses here. Smaller print.
At the interest of everybody's time, I am going to ask that you move this along just because we're already 15 minutes over. I appreciate your input for sure, but we do need to get this moving.
Yeah, I won't be much longer. So in March of 2018, you know, it was decided we needed to look at this. And, you know, we started off and we did some studies, and in the interest of time, in the impact study, it was highlighted that we had projected a cost, we the town, of $2.7 million. And we actually had set up a capital improvement fund of 2.3 million. And that's what I initially saw. And, you know, I can deal with 2.3. I think most of us could. But then we get to the building committee meeting of 5/14, and Chief Ventura pops a number out of $10 million in cost for a municipal building.
So to talk about, just to interrupt you for a moment, to talk about numbers that were given out previously is, it doesn't make sense to do that because we have numbers here that are factual.
What I'm trying to do is walk us down a road, and we start off looking at a number of 2.7. Okay? I don't have a problem with 2.7. I don't think most people in town would.
What year was that number, just out of curiosity?
Pardon?
That was in 2018?
That was in 2024. What, the 2.7?
Yep.
That's in the capital reserve fund and was in 2022. So I'm not really here to argue. If you could just listen.
That's just, I don't know what you're, there is no capital reserve fund with that amount of money.
I think
in it.
he's talking about the CIP. Just
Okay.
for clarity.
It's in your document, the impact study. That's where the number came from. I'm not making up any numbers here.
I didn't,
Is
that's not my
that-
document.
Is that,
It's the town document, and you represent the town if you don't like it.
is that,
but-
I apologize, excuse me,
All right.
I'm sorry. Is that part of the impact fee study? The document you just held up?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Is that the latest version? Just out
The
of
one that was
curiosity.
on the website referred to in the minute notes and by the town.
Okay, I just want to make sure you have the correct methodology and the latest methodology. That's all.
So in 2024, we're up to 23.8 million to 28.9 million, which is in the minutes of the committee meeting, budget committee meeting 9/24. So in looking at this, you know, to cut to the chase, you know, but, you know, in looking at, this is an excellent document. You ought to publish that.
Looks from there, bond statement?
No, it's the needs
It's
study.
from your study.
It's the needs,
Oh,
it's the needs assessment.
Needs assessment. My apologies. Thank you.
Pretty sure that's on the website. If it's not, let me know, because it should be on the website.
So, I mean, you know, we have in the town hall, a meeting room for 100 people, and I won't go through all of them, but there's a lot of things that are just pie in the sky from my perspective. But we end up, you know, and what really killed me, in the police department, we had like 4 bathrooms. I think we have 1 downstairs, don't we?
No.
Or 3? I didn't see them when we walked around. Long story short, in a very, as this committee met and developed, we've gone from 7,200 square feet to 21,447 square feet.
No,
Yes.
7,500.
It says back here in the impact study, 7,200, but if
Sure.
you offered,
Look at what's up right now, what we're talking about. 7,500
okay,
square feet.
7,500 or 7,200, you're going up to 21,000, that's 300.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
That's for the municipal building. I'm not trying to get into all the pieces because I'm trying to save you time.
Okay.
And you're going from 2.7, and these are all your documents, not mine, to anywhere from 24 to 29 million bucks.
No.
And my conclusion is that, you know, we're not really,
So we're here to make sure that you understand what we're talking about,
yeah.
okay? And we're talking about a building of a standalone police station of 7,500 square feet that right now is all in roughly 5.6 million, not 20 million, not 27 million. We're also talking about, we wanted to provide the public with 3 options. One of the options is a standalone police station.
Mhm.
One of them is a standalone police station with the ability to add on at a later date. And the third option was to incorporate all of it. What we're doing as a committee is we are going to come up with a proposal to the town, our recommendation, and let the town decide. But the majority of us feel as though, and I don't think I'm speaking out of school here, that it's looking like the best solution for the town is a standalone police station. And that being said, I can appreciate all the hard work that you've done, but your facts are not correct, because we're talking about a standalone police department at 5.6 million, not any other number.
Understand, I started by saying I was making observations.
Mhm.
And what I observed was written documents that are owned by this group.
No, excuse
And
me.
some other
Can I
groups.
correct that? Because none of us were here in 2018. None of us were, that are on this committee now.
So, with the interest of time,
Yeah, I'm done.
yep, okay.
I mean, my
And I-
only point is, here are the numbers. Now, you're saying it's something different. I mean, I looked in the meeting notes, I looked in the meeting notes, I didn't see anything. And I
And if
guess-
those were the numbers, I'd be concerned too.
Well-
I'm concerned now. I just want to make sure that you understand.
Those are
That-
out of date. That's out of date information.
Correct.
Is what I would.
Those are very outdated.
It can't be real out of date. It's 9/24. You know, it's last year. It's like, anyhow, I told you I was gonna make
So-
observation. I
I-
drew a conclusion from the observation.
Appreciate it.
That's all I gotta say.
Awesome.
I'm
Appreciate it.
sorry, your first name, Chet?
No, it's Ched.
Ched, thank you. That's why I asked, I wasn't quite sure. Thank you for coming in with this today, because what I'm taking away from this is that we need to do a better job of putting
Correct.
out more solid, truthful information.
Factual.
If
New
this
word.
was what Ched gathered from wherever his sources he pulled from, we need to do a better job of disseminating better information. So I appreciate you coming in today. Thank you very much.
And hopefully you have a better understanding and a healthier outlook going forward.
You know, I believe what's written down, talks cheap.
Understood. Okay, I think that, thank you. Any other public comment? Okay, having none,
Sorry, just really quickly, because it's not clear. Who's going to update the website?
let me talk to Julie about that. We'll figure it out, I guess.
Okay.
Do I have a motion
There's
to
no one,
adjourn?
that's fine.
A motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.